What's up, guys? This is Chris here, and today we are going to talk about one of the worst firearms that we've ever had on the channel. A gun so bad that it has been in testing for almost 5 months now, and we have tried to figure out what's wrong with it multiple times. But today we've decided we've put enough time into this, we put enough ammo into this, and wasted enough money on this gun to actually come forward and just give you the review now. Fail. Now we have over 1,000 rounds through this firearm, and this was an extremely expensive firearm. So not only the cost of the gun went into this video, but the cost of the ammunition, and consider me a little disappointed. Now, before we continue, I do want to mention that I'm not here to put anybody out of business. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I actually know some people that work at this company. So for me, this is kind of a tough video to make, but that's the kind of videos that we make here. The reason why I started this channel in the first place was to alert you guys of purchases that I think that you should probably avoid. I know this channel's over 10 years old, but when I started, there was already a lot of gun reviewers, and those gun reviewers would often, not all of them, but some of them certainly, would often prioritize profit over the actual content that they're making and helping the people out. And that's not what we do here. So I just wanted to let you know in advance, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I just try to hold manufacturers accountable for the products that they make.
Hey y'all, before we get into today's video, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, G-Code. G-Code is a veteran-owned and operated company, and all of the holsters are made in America with American-sourced materials. With G-Code holsters, you don't have to sacrifice your comfort for your security. They have a tactical fuzz exterior, which is a suede-like synthetic outer laminate permanently bonded to the holster exterior. It creates a softer, more comfortable surface against your body to reduce holster shift, and has a near 0% water absorption rate for superior sweat resistance. Use G-Code 10 for 10% off the entire website. Thank you to G-Code for supporting our honest reviews like this one.
I guess I should mention what the gun is. The gun is the Phoenix Trinity Lo Pro. We actually purchased this firearm, believe it or not, for a promotion with Fan of Them. I actually heard this company had a very good reputation. Their guns were extremely expensive. They look super cool. The brown lower with the black upper, it had lots of texture on the grip. It came with a compensated sight block and then a non-compensated sight block. I heard the Phoenix Trinities are very interesting because they are a 2011 double stack 1911 with a steel frame, steel slide, and a steel grip. But they have the ability to change from a compensated gun to a non-compensated gun, at least this version anyway. So if you want to shoot limited optics, let's say, in USPSA, you can do that. If you want to go to IDPA where they allow compensators, you can switch it out and have a slightly flatter gun, or you could shoot on the range with a compensator, and then you can switch it out to the sight block for a home defense pistol or something like that. It gives you a lot of options, and I think that's very cool. So I figured, why not? Let's go out and get it. And the way that we do the promotion videos from Fan of Them is often, instead of just releasing a first shots, we tend to shoot 500 or 1,000 rounds through the gun before we even release the video, because I don't want to give away a gun to somebody that isn't amazing. So we started shooting this gun, and we had a continual amount of problems, an enormous amount of problems that arguably rival any other gun we've had on the channel. The gun comes at 41 ounces, which is very heavy, but it's very good to control the recoil. It has a 2-pound textured trigger, and that feels great. Came with 2 optics mounting systems, a combat hammer, ambi controls, a very good grip. Phoenix Trinity is known for their grips. Their grips feel really good. Came with 2 mags and a $7,500 price tag, which out of the gate would lead me to believe that it is an incredible firearm. If I buy a $7,500 firearm, I expect it to be one of the most amazing handguns we've ever purchased. But on top of that, I'm not unfamiliar with expensive 2011s. As a matter of fact, I've had most of them on the market today, which is unlike most people's experience. Most people do not have the ability to own as many expensive 2011s as I have, partly because we give them away, so I have the option to shoot about 12 free ones per year. But on top of that, I am a collector of 2011s. That is the gun that I collect the most of, and it is the gun I have the most of. Overall, I have several Terran Tacticals to compare this to. I have several Atlas Gunworks to compare this to. We've had Dark Forge on the channel. I've had several Nighthawks, which are a little bit less expensive than this, but are still in the same ballpark. And we've had SVIs, all of which are around the same price as this gun. None of them had any malfunctions at all, maybe 1 or 2 through 1,000 rounds. This gun, however, had about 40 in the first 500 rounds. This was one of the most unreliable firearms we've ever had on the channel, no matter what I did. Started problem solving immediately. The first thing I went to was the magazines. We were using the stock, I believe they were MBX magazines. We switched those out for Staccato mags. They didn't work. We tried Terran Tactical mags. We tried Atlas mags. Didn't seem to make much of a difference at all. After that, we switched the ammunition. We went from 115 grain to 147 grain. We did some low-powered competition rounds. We did some higher-powered 124 grain rounds. None of that seemed to make much of a difference either. No matter what ammunition it had, it's still failure to feed. It's still failure to extract. We had mostly those, but occasionally double feeds as well.
Interrupting one more time to tell you about the other sponsor of this video, Ammo Squared. If you didn't know, Honest Outlaw started with me and Chris in our backyard, just doing what we loved and solving a problem. Ammo Squared is no different. Dan and Danielle Morton started with the idea to treat ammunition buying more like funding a 401k, a little bit at a time over a long period of time, stored until needed. Sign up, pick a caliber, set an auto buy budget, and select a shipping trigger. Ammo accumulates over time based on your own budget, and it's stored for free until you want it at your house. We thank them for supporting our free content that we deliver every week.
Then, along with the reliability issues, we also had the red dot. It kept falling off consistently. We used the optic screws that came with the gun. The optic screws were new, at least they appeared new, and they were loose out of the box. So we knew they were a little bit loose, so we put extra Loctite on. They kept falling off anyway. Missed the whole target again.
You can see ammo.
Am I still missing all those?
Yeah.
We tried different screws, didn't make any difference.
Where are you hidden?
Well, I'm pretty sure that it just got, yeah, I can feel it.
We're like, okay, this sucks. We took the optic back off. We changed the plate because it comes with two plates. It comes with one charger plate and one non-charger plate. I also thought the charger plate might have added weight, so I thought maybe that would fix some of the malfunctions. So the rest of the 200 or 300 rounds that we shot after that were with this plate right here, until this plate broke. So you can see there that there is a post missing on the plate. We have our two posts up here, our locking lugs for the red dot, and then this is a raised post that's supposed to go in either SRO or RMR, in which case that also broke and the screw also stripped. That was frustrating. Two shitty plates in a row, and then also 40 or 50 malfunctions in my $7,500 gun made me very upset. But I have met the people from Phoenix Trinity, so I figured I would give them an opportunity to fix the firearm. Eric, the guy that we work with for Fan of Them, sent the gun back to them to get their opinion on what was going on. I got it back in relatively short order with information that we used the wrong optic screws and they thought it was dragging on the inside of the gun. And then on top of that, they thought the locking block on the barrel needed to be lubed, which was ridiculous to me because we used the optic screws that were with the gun. And on top of that, we lubed this shit out of the gun. We cleaned it multiple times and we lubed it multiple times during that 1,000-round process. And you shouldn't have to do that, first off. If the gun even needs to be lubed every 200 or 300 rounds, you need a new gun. Because Atlas doesn't need that, Terran Tactical doesn't need that, Dark Forge doesn't need that, Nighthawk doesn't need that, hell, Bull Armory doesn't need that, and they're $2,500 or $3,000. As a matter of fact, the gun that we replaced this with for the giveaway was actually the Masterpiece Arms DS9, which is a $3,500 gun that went through our 1,000-round process in the exact same weather, exact same magazines, and the exact same ammunition, and it had only one malfunction in 1,000 rounds versus about 40 or 50. So frustrated with that performance. We got it back from them. I was frustrated with the answer. We went back out and shot the gun, and sure enough, it was less reliable now than it was before I sent it.
Yep.
It failed immediately. 3 fails. We couldn't even get through a single magazine after getting the gun back from Phoenix Trinity. Fail. What the fuck? Fail. Fail.
Okay. Boo.
Fail. This gun. I'm not even playing games. And after that, I just called it. I'd already wasted 1,000 rounds. I'd wasted 3 range trips, and I wasn't in the mood to placate a super expensive 2011 that did not perform. I appreciate 2011s, and I appreciate their ability to shoot better than any other firearm, and I understand that an $8,000, $7,000 2011 is way too expensive for most people. But if you're a guy like me and you feel the minute differences between 2011s and you want that extra 0.5% of performance, it is a spectacular experience on the range when you get a gun like this that actually shoots and performs well. However, this one did not do that. It has really low recoil. It has a pretty good trigger, although I wouldn't say it's any better than any of the other $4,000 or $5,000 2011s we've ever tested. It has a decent grip, although you can see that the coating is coming off a little bit. The optics mounting system failing. The gun just screams low build quality. It looks cool, but every time I shoot it, I keep waiting for malfunctions or something else to fall off. Now, I should mention with the malfunctions that it didn't just malfunction over and over and over again. Every once in a while, we'd have a string of like 100 rounds or 150 rounds where it wouldn't have any malfunctions at all. That gave us hope to continue shooting the gun. And then we'd have several magazines with tons of malfunctions in a row with the same mags and ammunition that we didn't have a little bit ago. It was so strange because we'd have failures to feed, failures to extract, and even double feed. So it was difficult for me to identify exactly what was happening. I mean, it could be the recoil spring, could be the locking lug, it could be the magazines, it could be literally anything at this point. That's why I sent it to Phoenix Trinity, and I got a milquetoast answer in my personal opinion. It also wasn't just shot by me. The malfunctions were fairly consistent across all the shooters that we had out there. We shot it during warm weather and we shot it during cold weather, and again, malfunctions both times. Now, to be completely honest with you, the customer service from Phoenix Trinity for me personally was great. However, I happen to be relatively famous in the gun space, and it would be in their best interest to have good customer service toward me because I might make a video like you're seeing right now, and most gun companies know that, which is why traditionally when I go through customer service, I usually go with my own personal name. However, we did not with this gun because it was already a promotion from Fan of Them to begin with, so they already knew I was the honest outlaw. Their customer service being very nice to me, again, might not be the experience that you actually have. And in all fairness, we did look that up as well. We checked forums for whatever use that is. I mean, that's sort of mediocre evidence at best, a couple of people being upset, but it's still there. If you look at the forums about Phoenix Trinity, most of them mention that they have pretty poor customer service. Now, this gun having serious issues, you have the gun being sent back and coming back with issues, then you also have multiple types of issues, including the optics mounting system breaking and different malfunctions with 3 different people. It's hard for me to imagine a world where this gun works perfect for people. I am just here sort of astounded at the cost and the experience that I've actually had with this firearm. I actually waited a little bit so I wasn't super frustrated when I made this video so I could make more of a clear and concise video. But the reality is that honestly, in my personal experience, I would never recommend anyone buying this firearm. Maybe Phoenix Trinity has other firearms that are really great, but for the $7,000-ish price point, there should be no duds in a row. That's what you pay for. You know, if you buy a $400 gun and you have a bunch of malfunctions out of the gate, well, I mean, it kind of happens, right? It's a $400 price point. But a $7,500 2011 that's custom fitted and handmade should not have these malfunctions out of the box. If you're charging $7,500 for a firearm, you could charge $7,600 and put 2 boxes of ammunition through each gun before you send it out, and then you would have a gun that works all the time and you wouldn't have these issues. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this gun, and I waited 5 months or so to find out, and I just never problem solved the issue. A couple of theories might be the locking block itself. Phoenix Trinity runs a unique locking block to any other double stack 1911 that I'm aware of. What the significance of that is, I don't know, but I do know that it's the only one that runs that locking block. It's one of the few 2011s where you can swap barrels from compensated to non-compensated. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe the modularity causes a little bit of issues. I'm not really sure. Maybe there's possibly something I'm doing that could be the issue, although I've had dozens and dozens of 2011s that work great. I've shot hundreds of thousands of rounds in my lifetime. I'm not exactly a newbie when it comes to handguns, and the 1911 isn't exactly new to me. I've been shooting them since I was 10 years old. So I have no idea what's going on with this gun, and apparently neither does Phoenix Trinity. So here we are making this video with no answers for you other than the fact that I would not recommend spending your kids' college fund on this. In my opinion, there's no real excuse for this performance, so here we are making this video. It makes me very unhappy to make this video. I'm sorry to Phoenix Trinity, but when you buy a $7,500 gun, you don't expect just mediocre performance, you expect amazing performance, and when you get a gun like this, super disappointing, super disheartening. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.